Morning, Miss Kim Casey. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I like your signs behind you.
Thanks. Oh, wrong way.
Looks awesome. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I'd look at the signs and I'm seeing all these. It seems like daily we have these little incremental successes, and like we're growing as a group. I feel like our creativity, we're just unleashed right now since it's just us. So we've got a lot of things, you and I, coming up that we can talk about. Well, a lot of them we can't talk about, but I'm excited to introduce some of them as they happen in the future episodes.
Right. We can maybe drop a few hints.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're always saying, I think you came up with this. Seaport Cares. And what's that? What's that about?
So the Seaport Cares package, I think it's something that, basically we're gearing ourselves to help out our community, right? Who are those essential workers? They've been through a lot right now, and even the ones that have been laid off, right? So it's not just the ones that are currently employed, but people that have been laid off. So just thinking creatively, I can't talk this morning, but creatively, I can't say the word, say it for me.
Creatively.
Thank you.
You got it. That's what team's all about.
Yeah, we're thinking outside the box, and we're just looking for really fun ways to, really bring help and add value to these people. So we're not going to give you all the details today because we can't give it away yet. But I think there is going to be some fun stuff coming up to really put some value out for these people.
Yeah, it's funny because previously we've been, under the auspice of another company, and we're kind of, you have to play within their box.
Right.
And, the minute that in the past, I think we actually broke through their box where we previously were, and it was frowned upon greatly, and that was with the auction side. So I think our creativity allowed us to break free and also probably forced us to be free as well. So now we can look at this as, what does the community need? What are those programs that have worked, and how can we give back to the consumer?
Right.
I think that concept is it's so easy, yet we have the ability to implement and be free in whatever we want to do.
I think that's the greatest thing about being, with this brokerage right there, is what you're talking about right there, the freedom to really do what's best for our clients. It doesn't have to be some structured thing that came out from corporate. It can really be creative, and it can really be something that's a value add that we come up with, and we kind of adapt as we go.
Right. Yeah. So you can tweak it. It's kind of like a speedboat, right? You're like, oh man, we got to deviate. We got to go over here. We can do that quickly. Whereas if you're one of these larger entities like a cruise ship, you're like, hey, I want to get over there, but it's going to take me, a long time to make that transition over.
Right.
Hey, I got a question. Hey, did you see that the moratorium was pushed back again?
It is again, right? So well, for Connecticut now, it's till the April 20th?
Yeah, I heard now we're end of June.
Even now past that. So
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
It just keeps kicking down the road.
Kick the can, right?
Right.
So let's say that is the last date.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, these landlords, these owners, these banks now have the ability to proceed with foreclosures. What's a foreclosure do to us? Let's say on your street, real estate's doing extremely well. At first, let's say you have a foreclosure on your street. What does that do to your value?
I feel like it's a trickle effect, and it starts kind of bringing that value down, and if we see an influx of properties that are this foreclosure style, it leads to wonder what's going to change in the market that we're currently seeing. That's a broad spectrum, but across a broad spectrum, we are seeing a low inventory. We're seeing, the sellers really being able to capitalize, but what happens if that kind of changes,
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, as long as the supply still stays low and you have a few of those, people are just going to snap them up. They're going to be gone. And it probably won't have a huge impact, but I'm hearing the one right now, from what we know of, there are 10 million across the country that are just sitting there, that are waiting for this moratorium to be lifted so that these, owners can go through the process of eviction and foreclosure.
I think it's scary for a lot of people. On the flip side of that, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. So I think it's really just, how have you positioned yourselves? Hopefully it was in a really great way, and you'll be able to capitalize on opportunity. Otherwise, it's just helping out people as much as we can.
So along those lines right now, I know people are, it's kind of like, if you just walk through, let's say this, I'll put it in you're looking for this bag that you're just dying for. I don't know. Let's say I don't know bags, but let's say it's a Coach bag or whatever it is. Okay. And you've been looking, no. So what is it? Name something that.
It's the YSL. That's going to be my next brand bag. That's what I want. That's on my vision board, right?
You've been searching for this thing. You can't find it. Let's just say you're fine. You can afford that bag. You're good to go. You just can't find it anywhere. You don't have. So what if you have the ability to locate that bag? Are you going to pay whatever you can for it?
If it's something that's at scarcity, it's kind of what you're talking about now. I'm probably going to pay a little bit more because I want that bag and I can afford that bag. That's on my vision board and I can check that off. I'm going to get that bag.
What if somebody tells you can't have it? Kim, you can't have that bag.
Who's going to tell me that?
You want it more, don't you?
I'll have a workaround. I'll find a way to get that bag.
You'll get it. Okay, so that's the same thing.
Who's telling me that? Because
that's the same thing, though. It's the same thing with buyers that are out there. Because what's happening is they're writing multiple offers on properties. They're getting rejected. They're not getting these properties. So all of a sudden, there are these properties that historically haven't sold for a reason. Functional obsolescence. Maybe this thing's just butt ugly. Maybe the house you drive by, like, whoa, who lives in that thing? They didn't sell for a reason. So not every home, just because it comes on the market, should be sold. So buyers that are out there, don't just buy it because you can.
Yeah, it's so true.
Unless it's a bag.
Unless it's on your vision board and it is the exact one you're looking for, then I'll help you get that. I'll help you. But otherwise,
what are those things you can be looking for? I mean, if buyers are out there looking right now, what are some easy things they can do to kind of say, maybe this one's not for me? What can you use aerial photos for?
Oh, you know what? You can see so much from the aerial photos. You can see just the proximity of the house, the lay of the land, the topography. You possibly can see a little bit of the neighborhood, what's going on there. Are they close to water? Is there any electrical lines over there? Like what's around you?
What was the electrical lines? I love that one.
Yeah, well, it could be positive or it could be negative, but you're going to get a better shot of what's around. So, yeah.
I even like you can disqualify properties pretty quickly. If somebody has, kids, dogs, and both sets of those are getting it loose, and you see a property that's on a high trafficked road, maybe we should think twice about this property, or maybe even looking at, a flood zone. Maybe it's in an AE or a VE. Maybe that can eliminate properties.
Absolutely, especially properties that need a lot of work done to them.
Right.
Because then, you get into the 50-50 rule. And what if you can't even put in the work that you want to do? It's just a lot of people wind up in a really bad situation with that. So just knowing what you're looking at, knowing what you're getting into, having all the due diligence done up front really is important.
I think, again, buyers need to be aware that not all properties should be purchased.
Absolutely.
Representation, agents, don't be out there just being a taxi driver. Actually educate your clients, add value. And if you're in this for the short term, that works. That's a great plan. Just ring the register, do the deals. This is the great Latanza. But if you're in this for the long term and you're in it for your clients like we are, you really have to advise them to make the right decisions. And it may take some time to get a property unless you do an off-market deal.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about creating relationships too.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time.
All right. Well, I appreciate yours.
Thanks, Kim. We'll talk to you.
Have a good day.
You too.